Good evening. I'm going to talk to you about representing yourself in the Supreme Courts, or any courts for that matter, and how to get your opponent to apply for the courts to take you to court so that you don't have to fit the bill. I'm also going to dive into tactics as to how to get information from companies who are not subject to freedom of information, and I'm going to teach you by using my case, which was sorry which was an application from ISS Security Pty Ltd versus me, Troy Aggett, in the Federal Supreme Court of Queensland. This is the document here, which they served me on. That document took approximately 3 years for them to finally serve me in a court of law. Now, to give you a little background on this, they targeted me. I was a federal police officer at the time with the Australian Federal Police, and they made several allegations against me to try and take my job. The AFP, after I filed for obstruction and hindrance of a Commonwealth official back in 2007, I think. I can't confirm that yet, but we'll get back to that later. I can't confirm it right now because my cat is sitting on the document. So we'll leave the cat be for now. We can get to that at a later video, and we'll get back to exactly all the processes. Now, when I was served this document, I was pretty delighted about it because I pushed them. In fact, I told them that I was going to pay university workers to protest out the front of their office. It was only after that I was served this. Now, when you're served an application like this, you're supposed to have a 2-week response time. They gave me 4 days, including a weekend, which courts don't operate on weekends, so you can see the problems with that. So I was served at 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. I went to a lawyer in Brisbane City on Friday, somewhere just after lunch. They put the money value in at $2,000 to start with. It got to $10,000 within several minutes. And I'm just looking at them going, well, I don't have the money, so have a nice day. So I decided to take the leap and represent myself. Now, before you lose interest in that perspective, I also won. So I'm going to teach you how to do it, and the tactics I used to get these guys to make a foolish mistake to take me to court. So we'll get down to what they were applying for. This is technically a gag order. If I follow the directions of this request, I would have to hand over all documents, whether it be written, on computer, copied, any document I've got. First off, they were asking me to restrain anyone I know, anyone I'm associated with, from using, reproducing, disclosing to any person confidential information and documents of ISS security as described in Part A of the schedule. Obtaining, using, reproducing and disclosing to any person confidential documents to ISS security as disclosed. Of Part B of the Annex, the defendant forthwith deliver to the plaintiff all documents, materials, including paper, electronic, computer materials that are in their possession, custody and control within the description of Part A of the schedule and the annex of the statement filed herein. In compliance with Order 2, the defendant list all such documents, materials referred to therein, and an affidavit is to be made, filed and served by the defendant within 7 days of this order. Order of substituted services, cost of this application is reserved. such further orders that the court seems appropriate. And that was filed. Application will be heard by the courts on the 14th of the 5th, 08. So there wasn't a whole lot of time from the time I received this document to the time we had to go to court. The document itself is dated the 8th of May. But of course I don't receive it on the 8th of May, that's when they have it. They then served it to me by court sheriff, and I received it just 4 days before it was due. So it didn't leave a lot of time. Now when you get served documents, they seem a bit confusing, you know. I'll give you an idea. This book is the evidence book that the company accidentally served me. Now, they then sent round a debt collector to retrieve this book. But, under the law, you don't have to return it. Once you've been served, any documents you got from them, you keep. You're not obligated to give it back. So, don't ever give it back. Now, interestingly enough, most of this I wrote. It's not actually their information, it's my information that I put out there, that I gathered and I disseminated. And I did contact ISS Security, Peter Beadle, long before it got to this point, and told him, stop what you're doing. I've done nothing, I've just done my job. Stop what you're doing, let it go. I go back to work, everything goes good. They didn't. They continued and continued and continued at the apparel of Neil Pitkin, who used to work for Diamond Investigations down in Melbourne, and he was a tyrant when it came to this case. He made allegation after allegation after allegation. So I went through 19 months of investigations because of these continued allegations. In fact, I took time off work, lost a relationship, lost houses, lost everything really. And we'll get later on, after a few more of these blogs, we'll get to those as to the repercussions of someone like me who blows the whistle. And being the first federal police officer ever to blow the whistle, you can imagine the stress that was accompanied with that. But I didn't blow the whistle on the AFP, but that's going to come in this video, because this here leads to corruption, it leads to cover-ups, and it leads to the victimisation and bullying of federal members working for the government, government official, public official, call it whatever you will. They tried to bully you to shut up, they tried to quieten you. I had a lot of pressure, I had a lot of people coming down on me, and I still went ahead and did it. So in the next video, I'm going to explain the tactics I used to get this company to take me to court to prove my innocence. I did nothing wrong, and I'm going to stand by it, and the court orders back it up. So the end result of the court order was that for my protection, I quote from the judge, that I couldn't publish a contract. Funnily enough, I was offered a contract as evidence to the case. I never even asked to read it. And that's all I had to do to read it, was ask. I'm not interested in the contracts. I never was. However, I did ask for the contracts at the end of most of the letters I wrote. Where do you keep a copy of your contracts? I'll have to go through and check if I actually described a contract, but I don't think I did. But maybe I did in the heat of a moment, who knows. However, they gave me the option to read the aviation security contract, which was against the contract itself with the customer, because the contract should never be shared with a third person. But as the contract wasn't the issue, I had no need to read it. asking for the contract was merely a purpose for a response, because I found whenever I asked for the contract, they'd threaten to take me to court. That statement in itself acknowledges the letter attached to the request of a contract. So the contract was never the issue. I just wanted them to acknowledge they received my letters. In the next video, we'll get down to the nuts of it, and we'll start working on how you get information, where you can find information, and how you can hold someone who's not subject to freedom of information accountable for their actions. Thank you. If you like this video, please hit the like and share. This is going to be a mind-blowing adventure. I hope you enjoy it. I didn't at the time, but I'm going to now. Have a nice